Yeah, I got people sit on the couch across from me and they'll regularly tell me that they're creative people, and then there's them. That's an unfortunate thing. If your identity as you see it as not a creative person, you're going to live like you're not a creative person, behave like you're not a creative person. How do we help a not creative person become a creative person?
Well, I would start by saying there is no such thing as a not creative person. I do believe in God. I believe that God formed man and made us all with abilities and attributes. And one of those things that God is a very creative God. Have you seen the animal species? Have you seen the plant life? I mean, he's a very creative God. And when he made us in his image, that also has to do with creativity. We are all creative. You know, I've heard people say this about rhythm. I don't have any rhythm. Do you walk? When you're walking, you're in perfect tempo. You have rhythm, you just haven't cultivated rhythm for maybe music. And I think a lot of times when people see creativity, they think, I can't draw or something like that. That's a part of creativity, but that's not really what we're talking about when we're talking about internal creativity.
There are things you can do to develop creativity, and it kind of depends on the context that you're looking at it going, well, I wish I were more creative. I wish I were more creative in coming up with things to say to people.
Yeah.
Well, there are people that I have a good relationship with that would understand if I were to say something that was out of character. There are people that I could explain what I'm trying to grow in, and they would help me to grow. If I were trying to become more creative in writing, they would tell you to write more and then write differently. Creative means you're creating something new. So don't create the same over and over and over again. Don't do the same over and over again, and don't keep doing the same thing. Otherwise, why would you? When would you have been creative?
Yeah, I mean, creativity can play itself out in inventing something, but it could also play itself out in innovating something. So you could make something better, being creative and learning how to do things better. Creativity isn't always just art, and I think that's how people see it. To be creative means to think of a better way to do something, or a different way to do something. And I think we all have that ability. A lot of times I think people aren't creative because they don't think that they are, so they automatically tell themselves they're not, and so the brain doesn't present creative ideas to them. So I think that one of the first steps is to understand that we're all creative, and to start giving yourself a little credit for that, and maybe some things will open up for you.
So you run into a situation in which you would have done something one way and now you can't. So you can look at it and say, well, I can't do that, and be done. Stay in your despair of being stuck in the situation you've got. Or you look at it and say, is there a different way to do this? Oftentimes people will take the first option. They were right, they said it, they meant it, they were right, story's over. Sometimes people look at it and say, well, how else can I do it? And that is where creativity hits our mental health and hits our situations and our context and allows us to grow. And sometimes you need people to nudge you in the direction of, have you thought about doing it differently?
Yes, solution-focused therapy, that's basically tapping into your creativity, because you have a problem, now you have to come up with solutions. That's being creative. Cognitive behavioral therapy, it's learning how to reframe problems. Again, you have a problem, you think about it in a certain way, it's destroying your life. You need to think about it in a different way so your life is better. And so that would be, again, creativity. So a lot of times being creative is just understanding how to change some things, or how to work some things, or how to navigate through things. And that's what we do. We help people learn to tap into their creativity.
Yeah, give us a call.